Hi, thank you for checking out my channel and the Persona Rerun project. If you are enjoying it, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with any friends who might be interested in Persona. I am also live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MacTheVoid, as well as have a coffee. Otherwise, we'll get right into it. Thanks. I can hear people talking.
Seriously?
I was so excited about having Monday off, but I remembered Career Experience Week starts Tuesday. Then we don't have, it's then we have to work even though we won't get paid. What jobs did you get?
No way, man.
Tuesday and Wednesday, I've got a construction job. And on Thursday and Friday, I'm at the gas station.
You know what?
Dang, that sucks. The teacher's gonna be keeping an eye on us the whole time. Where will my job be? The first bell is rung.
You good?
So did you all enjoy the class trip? I sure didn't. I couldn't care less about shrines and temples. Well, Career Experience Week starts Tuesday. Just think of it as another boring field trip for social studies. Pretty tough out there in the real world. If you don't know what I mean, by the end of the week you will. Myself though, I'm just happy I have the chance to relax. Does anyone have any fond memories from the trip they'd like to share with the class? Come on now. Don't turn away from me. So, my idea for the school trip was Guam, but none of the other teachers agreed. In fact, they all had their own ideas. Mr. Kuda stumped for Kyoto, like always. Mr. Ono wanted to go, somewhere else, northeast of Japan? I'm still not sure why. Miss Onishi suggested a hot spring, and Mr. Takanozuka wanted to ride the maglev train. Mrs. Teruuchi didn't care where we went as long as she could bring her husband. Man, is she annoying. What we need is someone to unite the rest of the staff against a certain someone. Then we can finally fight back against this annual Kyoto slog. You can be that leader. I have faith in you. Get your shit together and you could be that leader. I've cleaned my glasses, give me a... Ooh. Class is ended for today. Hello, an old man's request, healthy brain food. Who's available? Fuka... Mitsuru is available. Did we technically start hers yet? I think we can start hers today, so that's actually where we're going. Even though Fuka is ready to level up.
Hello.
Ah, Void, I've been hearing a lot about you lately. Sounds like you're studying hard. I'm impressed, but try not to stress yourself out. By the way, this is unrelated, but I'd like to talk to you about something. If you don't mind, could you spare some time? Sure.
I see.
Excellent. Well, could you come with me? I'd rather not talk about it here.
So, I need to know the etiquette of this place. Are there any customs I should follow?
You say 2 specials when you walk in, and that's about it. Slurp the noodles.
Oh, right. Slurping is considered polite. I've heard about that. I hope I can do this correctly. Now then, let us begin. Bon appétit. What a fascinating flavor. I thought it strange at first, but it carries with it a subtle complexity. Yes, this is quite delicious. Excuse me, Monsieur Chef de Cuisine?
Chef de cuisine? Talking to me?
Your ramen is absolutely wonderful. It's been a while since I last gave my compliments to the chef. What do you use for the bouillon?
Bouillon? What the hell is that? You're asking about the recipe? Sorry, miss, can't tell you. That's how we put bread on the table.
So it's a secret recipe. I completely understand. You don't have to tell me. You mentioned this dish puts bread on the table? I suppose that means it comes in sandwich
Girl,
form
you
as
know
well.
what a turn of phrase is.
I see. What a fascinating delicacy.
That ain't exactly.
Girl, you're not Icus. What are we doing here?
The recipe of something this delectable could likely be patented and sold for quite a profit. Oh, sorry, my imagination got the best of me. I've been wanting to try ramen for a long time. Do you find that unusual?
I mean, it is unusual, but I don't think it's bad. I think if you said strange, I would probably disagree, but it is not the usual. That said, I think that she's implying that you find that strange. I'll just say.
Oh, that's good to hear. I never had the opportunity to eat this kind of food growing up. The style of restaurant is new to me too, so I have to admit, it's something I've always wanted to try. I'm glad we came here today. You've already taught me so much about ramen etiquette. I would love to return here in the future.
I saw an unexpected side of Mitsuru. I feel like our relationship has grown.
Thou shalt. Oh, I didn't notice the time. We should be going.
We decided to go back to the dorm.
Welcome back.
Hi, how was your day? Ryoji-kun was just here. He came to hang out with Junpei. It's not often we get visitors here. Yeah, do you think it's okay? I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised he's not with the girl. Hey, where's Aigis? I saw her on the second floor. Really? Maybe she's with Koromaru. It's not like them to be gone. Work, huh? My dad did his very best when he was working. He's a hard worker and he never complained. Then again, he didn't do the kind of work we're going to be doing. The saying, earnest labor brings happiness, is simply a pretext. However, there are some people, like Yukari's father, who put their whole lives into their work. At any rate, I'd advise you to take full advantage of the opportunity to learn about the workforce. Please let me in. Please let me in. 12:10 is the next time. Will I remember to do that? Hell no. Ken, I don't care about you.
I comprehend.
I see. Then I shall continue my observations.
I have a suggestion.
Cannot stop thinking about Ryoji-san. I'm worried I may overheat. I even asked Koromaru-san for help. That's my room. Junpei. Hey, what are you doing? That's obviously a trap. Are you sure? But there's a treasure chest here. Whoa, a boss appeared. Junpei, it's all yours. Oh, you know, for as much trouble as Junpei is, and Ryoji for that matter, that's really cute, and I'm glad that they have friends. Oh wait, Yukari wasn't ready to level up, so I'm gonna go stare at Yukari for a while. Seems the prayer is done. Having meditated on a relationship, Yukari feels more important to me. Stanley, I should head back to my room. Oop.
What am I drawing? Why this? What?
It's been a while.
That voice.
You guys couldn't have done this.
I'm
Turn
glad to see you
Arc Hour?
once again. Jin, the instruments, if you would.
Here. Don't tell me you can't even recognize your own evoker.
Now there's nothing in the world keeping you here, yes?
Takaya.
Surely you understand. There is nowhere for you to go. Your only choice is to come with us. You know all too well that death is not to be feared. You need only fear.
I know, Takaya.
Excellent.
Being forgotten? Is that the implication?
His fault. Ever since he started getting too close. I've suffered. Every single day. And now... I'm afraid to die.
Hey, Chidori, hurry it up.
Manjia, let's go.
I heard that they arrested one of the Phantom Thieves. No way. I expect him to commit suicide. He's a murderer. He deserved to die. Can finally breathe easy now. Killed himself, huh? Guess we'll never know his motivation. I'm exhausted. I can feel my consciousness fading away.
Don't fall asleep until we reach our destination. Are you listening?
Could this be the effect of the drug wearing off? Memories I thought were gone are starting to come back.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation. Futaga's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior motive.
It's on a completely different level than just that.
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns. His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him. If we go into Sis's palace as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down my spine. Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto us.
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him.
And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time!
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac. Come on, we gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No. Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all. An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
Unless we find out who that is, we will continue being targeted even if we defeat Akechi.
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it. Though once we do, that mastermind will likely eliminate us.
I think that will be the case eventually, regardless of whether or not we learn his identity. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame for his crimes. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may opt to kill us immediately.
Damn it! So we don't got a choice but to go with that bastard's suggestion.
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested and then Akechi will kill him.
Palace. The palace.
Actually, there's something I'd like to say regarding...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this all of a sudden?
There's a way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity.
Really?
You gotta be kidding me!
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him? That is, inside of a palace.
Yes, we could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option. Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However,
It's been like
the police
2
intend
days.
on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell him to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
Hey, you big bastard.
How've you been?
I mean, I died.
You must be fine if you're joking around like that.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Yes.
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
That wasn't something we could simply bring up. We couldn't have you suspect Akechi. Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff.
Yeah, but that's because you haven't had the crash course.
So what was this mistake Akechi made? What did he do?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
You mean our cat?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry. Was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true. You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality. It's a change in cognition, most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk. But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
Oh, I know a place! I want to go to that huge pancake-looking place we passed on the way here!
Oh, am I mistaken? I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake. That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one after all.
We got lucky.
That said, we weren't so naive to overlook something like that.
That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone.
I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act! After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security questioning will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they planned to get rid of that guard from the beginning.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest. And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crimes.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi. Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station. That's why we had to make a move before they did.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What conditions?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing.
Not till we got to the school.
You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to us.
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but I went along with it.
It was a great idea.
Yeah, it's good we have her heading up our operations.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets oddly impulsive.
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi, but I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis. The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was to heal your heart, after all.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I wasn't myself at all. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry.
Go on.
There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse. First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing we
absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him in the metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.
Everything went as planned up until we defeated Sis's shadow. However, it was then that we were met with a terrifying, unexpected police ambush. As a result, even though we managed to grab the treasure, we couldn't get it out of the metaverse. Except that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand and merely acted like we were taking the treasure. This was because we knew the police would be coming for us.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to ambush us. And just as expected, he totally took the bait.
Exactly how we planned it.
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive world's interrogation room?
All I needed were the coordinates.
Seems like she really used his laptop to access the metaverse. Asking her about it now would drag the conversation on too long. I should talk to her later. Okay.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace and left thinking he had been victorious. It must have been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation room. Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
I can't see it either.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started coming to me on his phone. Huh. So in other words, I've been to the metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
In our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a time.
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his escape. By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as well.
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Huh. Astounding. I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand operation was taking place within me.
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you during the interrogation. Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were pretty worried about that part.
True.
Why is that?
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent breakout would have never been possible. That persuasion was
okay, but
easily
how
our
did
greatest
Akechi
gamble.
get out?
We couldn't consult Sis beforehand.
I don't remember.
Absolutely the make or break moment of the entire plan.
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it?
Don't remember. Drugs.
Understandable. Either way, I can't believe you went for such a risky idea.
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, I knew you'd realize the bigger picture. Realize that our leader was telling the truth, and that there was a greater evil to pursue.
As a result, we emerged victorious.
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch the true culprit, correct?
Yes. Plus, you had lost control of yourself at the time.
This is stunning. All I can really do is laugh.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fake. But what did you do about the body?
The police never even checked it.
Huh?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide. That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
The bad guys have that much influence?
Murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also knew of a possible conspirator.
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came to understand. And since the higher-ups at the police knew nothing of this, they were thrown into disarray. As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news, just as Akechi planned.
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san's help.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him. The callous use of violence, and even drugs, is utterly abnormal. If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died. I'm truly glad you made it back safe.
It was a breeze.
How tough are you?
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated to avoid drawing any suspicion. Even with that, I couldn't help but worry for him in my heart.
Well, I knew right away that her plan worked out.
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and carefree side.
Can it, Cat?
I had to be patient and avoid this place until things settled down.
It's
I
only been
finally
2
feel
days.
relieved.
We knew he was alive, but it was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about it, my interrogation was just a formality for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die. They just wanted to avoid backlash. Very well. From here forward, I will do my utmost to assist you. You saved me, after all.
That's reassuring to hear.
I'll do whatever I can to help too. Just let me know. Let's take a break for now, though. This old brain is pooped. Oh, and feel free to use the first floor when you guys want to get together to talk. You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word, and I'll close shop early.
Are you sure?
This guy can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs. It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town. It won't be a huge loss for me.
Let us accept his offer. What a great man.
Agreed. McVoid, that sounds familiar.
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero, and I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
And on to our next story, the snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? Feels like I've heard that somewhere.
He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
Who? I believe he's a politician. Remember Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Huh?
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses.
We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes.
Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this, just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved. But there wasn't anything I could do, so I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon
I don't
government
mind
research regarding the psychotic
like
breakdowns.
him being like
So
involved
I tracked down
in
the
all
whereabouts
of
that
their
research
different
data and met
lives
with the associated parties.
for this.
Boss
Like
was
I
one
think
of
that's
those
fine.
parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What about the world?
The issue is simpler than that. This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister. Got a hit! Well, duh. Ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent.
The Diet
Any
Building?
ideas?
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
We have to.
Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
Of course!
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Time for revenge. Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that Diet Building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the Diet Building after school.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Ms. Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations. A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal.
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
But the true battle has only just begun.
I mean, we were going to be captured either way, right? Because we had to go into her house. They covered that. We just turned a negative into a positive.
There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic, and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root. After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side, until recently.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests. The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals, which is why I made them suspects, prosecute the targets that I turned psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you. And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own. The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, Some sacrifices can't be avoided. That is my duty as the Chosen One. Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
Well, how do I put this?
Looks like things have finally settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
The chief's right. Take it easy for today.
So.
Oh, by the way, the police report on your death isn't gonna show up at your school. No need to worry. Seems Prosecutor Najima worked out some kind of deal with the higher-ups or something. I mean, they haven't said anything to me even. As long as you stay quiet, you'll be fine. And I guess if they report your death now, they'd basically be saying you were a phantom thief. You can't go around announcing what the phantom thieves are, so I'm sure they'll avoid that.
Hey!
I get that you want to go out after being locked up, but starting tomorrow you're gonna be really busy. You should take it easy and rest today. Glad safe and sound, but even that's putting it too lightly. You had it rough back there, didn't you? Only a little.
Sorry.
Kechi was after you all along. I knew it was risky, but we had no choice but to depend on him. But thanks to your tenacity, you were able to fool him. It's payback time. Let's make him regret underestimating the Phantom Thieves.
Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? That kind of came in handy.
I'm not interested.
What? That's no fun.
He's tired. You can tell him some other time, okay?
Alright, so that's all new. So
you want to hear it again?
definitely.
Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone? Basically, that let me see GPS info for 2 phones, yours and his. I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance, and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there was a chance they'd just pass each other without saying a single word. That's why we needed you to tell Sai Nijima to show the phone to Akechi.
This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it.
Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse Nav. It's a mysterious app after all. But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable. Pretty good, huh?
So I guess that's also how he did it.
But everyone else was risking their lives too.
Like, how he got out of the metaverse as well,
No, there's
right?
no doubt you were the most at risk. I mean, you actually got arrested. But it seems like all the drugs and stuff made you forget the details of the plan. Want me to explain how it all went down? It might take a bit. Well, since the rest of us didn't get captured, we had to act. We had to pretend we never wanted you to get arrested. Pretend the suicide news was a real shock. Basically, we had to act like we didn't know anything, 24/7. The enemy knows who we are, so we couldn't let our guard down even once while you were gone. If they had people watching us and realized what our plan was, they would have killed you immediately. Want to hear more?
Sure.
Another tough part was figuring out how to get Sai Nijima and
Okay,
Akechi back from
here's the part
metaverse.
I was curious about.
In order to return to reality, you have to go back to the point where you came into the metaverse. So, Sai and Akechi had to go through where the nav was activated, as in, the hall where they met. Akechi would just come back the same way after the assassination. The real issue was Sai Nijima.
Oh, because of the GPS, and you could physically push the button to have him
We
go
needed
through
to stop her
his.
for a moment before she headed back toward the interrogation room.
No, this part I don't care about. I was thinking about Akechi.
So, I had to program
Because
the messages
in my brain,
beforehand.
like I knew you had hacked his phone for like information, GPS listening, and all that, right? But like, yeah, the whole thing of like, oh yeah, I'll hit the button via his phone to make his phone think that he hit it where he's at to open the metaverse and have him leave the metaverse didn't occur. So like, yeah, that makes sense.
I made it seem like
I mean, it makes sense in fictional Monster Shadows world.
That part was kind
It
of
makes
last
enough
minute, so I had to pull an all-nighter trying to get it
it makes
set up.
enough sense within the logic the game has put out.
I'm really on a roll here. Wanna hear?
Sure.
Let me see. Another problematic thing was...
Oh yeah, tying Akechi up. That was really tough.
I obviously don't mean the real Akechi. Even if we could do that, it would ruin our plan. The one we had to tie up was Sai Nijima's cognitive Akechi. This part's really complicated. I know you're tired. You sure you want to hear all of... Well,
Sure.
we needed to lure Akechi into Sai Nijima's palace and have him kill the cognitive version. But Akechi would have entered the palace immediately after meeting Sai Nijima in the hallway, right? Because of that, there was a pretty decent chance he'd run into the cognitive Akechi. And if that happened, Akechi would have totally realized we'd lured him into the palace. Nobody actually even thought of this possibility until the night before the assassination. Makoto realized in the middle of the night, then it was a huge mess trying to figure out what to do.
That adds a lot of realism to this plan, actually, though, of the night before when you're going to bed and you're like, oh, fuck, forgot about this thing. That makes it very real. Yeah,
In the end,
that makes
we
it very
chose to
real.
sneak into the metaverse while the plan was happening to tie up the cognition. Because you told Sae to show him the phone, we expected her to chat with him for at least a bit. So, we had a few minutes to strike after the cognitive Akechi showed up, but before the nav activated. It was Operation Tie Him Up, though it wasn't really much of an operation in the end. Thankfully, Sai Nijima didn't know his true nature, so the one that appeared was an ordinary kid. It was pretty simple surrounding him, knocking him out, and tossing him on another floor. But man, watching Makoto's skill was super amazing. I guess she does use Knuckles as her weapon. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, appreciate what everyone else did. I just can't help but rant when I'm talking about stuff that interests me. Sorry about that. Just focus on resting up. You don't have to worry about anything else. And seriously, well done.
I'm gonna head back then.
Go to bed, all right?
Guess he won't be going to school for a while. Don't worry about it. This'll be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far. And we'll have all the time to come up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end. Well then, we should get to sleep. You know, something that Futaba said before, when you were in a pinch in the palace, she picked up a reading of someone who came to your rescue. Was that...
It was Kasumi. Let's just flat out
So it was
confirm it.
Yoshizawa. Then we'd better let her know you're safe now. And I'll even lend you a hand with that.
I understand why they couldn't. I'm gonna finish the thought process I had in the other game, in Persona 5 Royal, right here. So, you know, if you haven't played, if you're avoiding Royal spoilers and are only watching the 5 for some reason, fast forward, it's only like 30 seconds. But like, yeah, I understand why they couldn't, but it would have been cool to get the actual anime stitch in of how Yoshizawa reacted to the news of us dying along with everyone else's, you know? But yeah, I get why they couldn't do it. All right. I heard they arrested one of the Phantom Thieves. No way. I didn't expect him to commit suicide. Aye. But we can breathe easy now. He killed himself, huh? I guess we'll never know his motivation. ever know. I'm exhausted. It feels like my consciousness is about to fade away. Hey, are you alright? Don't fall asleep until we reach the destination. Are you listening? Could this be the effect of the drugs wearing off? The memories I thought were gone are starting to come back. We literally just went through all these memories. I get to just edit them out. Oh, they're not even voiced. Are you listening? What were you talking about? You weren't paying attention? Well, I guess I can see how you'd be lost in thought right now. Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation. Futaba's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. It indeed have an ulterior motive.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell them to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
Hey, you big bastard.
How have you been?
Ghostly.
You're not floating.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe.
Why was I outside
it was right after they
then?
announced he had died,
Like
too.
right now.
Almost gave me a heart attack.
Except for like the big reveal.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
That sounds familiar.
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
And on to our next story, the snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
Guess you won't be going to school for a while. Don't worry about it. This'll be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far.
Okay, so it's instantly cutting to this point, and not giving a chance to talk to anybody else in our room or save, more importantly. Okay, because I knew that was the Futaba stuff was all new, but I didn't expect it to just cut to this point and have to go to bed.
And we'll have
thought I'd
all
have
the
the chance
time
to
come
save.
up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end.
Well, how do I put this?
Oh, okay. Nope. Other way around. Okay. I thought you said that after we talked to everyone.
Looks like things have settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Okay, and so that's there to tell us again.
Hey. Well.
Unexpectedly grew stronger, even though Akechi was talking to the fake you at the time. That's true. Akechi met the cognitive you in the palace. I don't know what he said to that version of you in there, but we should make use of this. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. That they just pointed out like a plot hole and then just ignored it. They're like, "Hey, look at that plot hole." Oh well. That kind of came in handy. How so? Well, remember basically. Okay, so it's just voiced now. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna head back then.
Today is probably a big story day in this game too, huh? That's a little bit of a problem for me if I'm being honest. The fog from yesterday is still there this morning.
Oh, there he is!
Take a look at this. Namatame's in today's paper.
The front page's headline article says that Namatame has regained consciousness.
Today before dawn,
The suspect Taro Namatame, who had been confined in a local hospital, regained consciousness. In response to police questioning, he testified that he's sorry for what he has done and was scared. From here on, the police are hoping to solve the entire case based on this suspect.
So it's finally over.
Yeah, seriously. I wish we could have done it sooner. Isn't the fog kind of thick this morning? And it's so chilly.
It rarely gets this cold in November.
Oh, it's you guys.
Hey there.
Perfect timing. I just got a call from the hospital. They said that starting today, it's okay to visit Nanako-chan.
So she's getting a little better. Thank goodness.
Oh, is that today's paper? So you already know about him.
How's he doing?
He's regained consciousness, but it's hard to say. He's still mentally unstable, but we're slowly piecing together a story. This is still a secret, but I guess it's okay to tell you guys. You know that diary we found? There were entries about Miss Yamano and Miss Konishi in it. Looks like Namatame had been making advances on Miss Konishi.
That son of a bitch!
Yeah, well, I'm gonna head to the hospital now. Dojima-san's recovering too, so I need to go over a few things about this case with him.
Yosuke.
Sorry. I'm alright. Namatame's been caught. He can't hurt anyone now. But forget him. Let's all go visit Nanako-chan after school.
Of course!
Let's tell the others once we get to school.
Just a reminder, the finals are next week. How's your studying going? Though you may be very busy with your studies, make sure you keep up with your personal grooming. Every year, some boys come stumbling into the class with stubble on their chin. Of course, their 5 o'clock shadow is more like a 5-day shadow. Speaking of facial hair, some nations used to impose a tax on facial hair. In 18th century Russia, they also had a hat tax, bath tax, laundry tax, chimney tax, and more to fund their military. Those sure were taxing times. Be sure to take this down. You never know what'll be on the test, just like you never know what'll be taxed next.
Nanako, everyone's here to see you.
Big Bro.
Walking still seems painful for her. Nevertheless, Nanako looks happy.
Dojima-san! Ugh, how many times does this make it today? I understand that you're worried about your daughter, but you still need your rest too.
Sorry.
Are your injuries that bad?
Well, my wounds have just closed up, and it seems I have a couple of fractures as well.
I'm sorry. I'll wheel him back to his room immediately.
What are you apologizing for?
For letting you out?
It's almost time for your checkup, so make sure you're back in your room before then.
Big Bro.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Nanako closed her eyes with the relief. Seems to have fallen asleep. Received an explanation concerning her condition from the doctor.
Her condition is stable for now, but I never thought I'd say this as a doctor, but we still can't figure out the cause of Nanako-chan's symptoms. That's why we can only administer temporary treatments to alleviate her current pains.
But she's not in danger anymore, is she?
She's regained consciousness, but we can't let our guard down yet. All we can do for now is to monitor her condition closely.
Adachi, how's it going with Namatame?
Well, he's awake now, but he's in no condition to tell us anything useful. We only get a little time each day to interrogate him, so we're stuck until his strength recovers.
I see. I should get back to work as soon as possible. Hopefully by then, Nanako will be out of the hospital.
I think Nanako-chan can get more peace and quiet if she stays here. It's so foggy out, and there's been some weird rumors going around. Seems like no one knows why there's so much fog in town.
It's true. The number of patients complaining about fog-related health problems has increased, which is quite unusual.
Isn't that just a rumor? I mean,
I can't say for sure that it has no effect on the human body.
It could be smog rather than fog, which can be bad. It could be also like, you know, the drop in temperature associated with that can lead your immune system weakened. So, like, you could get sick more easily. In addition to that, it could be like placebo effect of like, I think this is unhealthy for me, so I'm starting to feel sick because I feel like it's unhealthy. You know?
It certainly could be a psychological effect. People's anxiety over the fog could cause problems. But as far as the fog's chemical makeup, well, that's not my field, so I can only speculate. What concerns me is that transportation of our medical supplies has been delayed due to the fog.
Fog-related health problems. Oh, that's just ridiculous. Anyone who says that is just blowing smoke.
No, it could be. Like, there could be stuff in the fog. My guy. Nanako has somehow regained consciousness. It seems like that it'll take some more time before she fully recovers. Namatame's interrogation that has finally begun. I think it was supposed to be has finally. The fog won't lift and there's health problems. For now, it seems that you can only watch and wait and see how
Isn't this weather strange? How could it be lasting so long?
I've never seen anything like it.
I wonder what's causing it. It's so creepy.
I heard that a friend of mine's son got sick from the fog and collapsed. You know how sensitive children are to that sort of thing.
I heard something too. They say an old man was driving through the fog and got into an accident.
What? Did he lose control?
Well, he'd never been in an accident or even gotten a ticket before, so something seems off. Isn't that scary?
I've even heard there are experts saying it's poisonous.
I mean, this reminds me of the scariest episode of Paranoia Agent that gave me nightmares. But like, I was raised on horror to a degree. I shouldn't say I was raised on horror. But I saw like Nightmare on Elm Street and some other horror, like slasher movie, like at what I would probably call an inappropriate age, around 6. But you know, I was okay, fine. Yeah. So you know, most things never really bothered me as far as like horror go. But that episode of Paranoia Agent, where like it's a bunch of women standing around gossiping and they're creating rumors about the kid with the bat and like the stuff he'd do, and the woman just keeps trying. A new housewife who lives there is just trying to fit in and like starts to create stories too as well. And they're like all the women were like, because she's new, basically hazing her, being like, oh, that couldn't happen. And then they start to tell more outlandish stories amongst each other and have to act like it was like, oh yeah, no, definitely I heard about that. And even though they were like way more outlandish, and she tried to join in and they kept shutting her down. And some of those stories by themselves were like semi-scary, or at least like, oh wow. But then like, spoilers for the end of this episode of Paranoia Agent, if anyone cares. It's a pretty decent anime. Even the other episodes are all. It's really interesting. Like the rest of the episodes, even the ones that have like horror overtones, aren't nearly as bad as this. But like, people should go check it out. But slight spoilers for Paranoia Agent, because this episode doesn't matter in the scheme of the show at all. But the episode ends with her going home, finding out her husband has been assaulted by the kid with the bat, and rather than calling for help or helping him in any way, she just like gets really obsessed with like finding out what the story happened, of like, how did he show up, what was going on, what happened, so she could share that and finally fit in with her group of gossiping housewives as the husband is dying in front of her from this assault. And like, yeah, like that really fucked me up as a kid, man. And it stuck with me for a very long time. I didn't know the name of the anime. I just knew like this one specific episode, and eventually I found it and watched the whole show. And the whole show is really good and really interesting. It has like this, like the overviewing, like the opening for it is like really unnerving in a really cool way, and I really like it. But like the show as a whole is almost more about like what it shows in the front is like how the nuclear bomb changed Japan, and how like some of their coping mechanism as like a culture have turned into this unhealthy thing of like ugly cute characters and moe culture and stuff like that. How like the obsession with that is not necessarily the best way to go forward, but at the same time it's like, what else? That there's so many other ills in society that like don't necessarily come from that you also have to address, and like how to handle all that. It's a really interesting show, and all of that is subtext, and it's really interesting.
Do you think it's, you know, because of that global warming thing? This town's changed a lot over the years. I wish the government would step in and do something about this.
Oh, I agree completely. If we're going to pay taxes, I expect the authorities to do their jobs.
This fog is poison! It's a gas filled with viruses! Don't inhale the fog, or you'll die!
He's not the first one like that I've seen lately.
Poisonous gas, though?
I mean, maybe this is too much information to give out, but whatever. Around where I live, the Salt Lake is drying up, and because of that, the salt from that is getting into the air and is bad for our lungs and bad for our health. And it's only getting worse year by year. So literally it is like that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's not true.
Oh.
Is something wrong?
Oh my. I think I'm coming down with something.
You can't be serious. Oh, that's right. I needed to do some grocery shopping. Well then.
Business has been so
that's right.
slow.
It's already voiced. I don't know why my brain was like, oh, I need to voice this. Spent with Rise, spent with Kanji. It looks the same as ever. Yep. Oh, I actually do need... I need to save first. Soundtrack jump scare. That freaked me out a little bit, just going out and back in. I think they should have cut out the guitar, replaced it with like something else. I don't know what. Kanji said he was gonna level up later. Maybe I will go talk to him. Pretty lucky that I happened to run into you at this hour. I just finished helping out at the store. Really? Yay! I hope to spend time with you. I accidentally tore the sleeve on my uniform the other day. Just when I was cursing my luck, Kanji fixed it up quick with a sewing kit. It came out looking better than it did before I ripped it. I knew he was good, but that was really something. Actually, isn't he a little too ahead of me when it comes to girl stuff? Kanji's just too good. Huh? What? That's not... I mean, maybe so, but... Fine, you'll see. Just when you're least expecting it, bam. Have you ever noticed Kanji is pretty cool to me? I thanked him for the help and he told me to shut up. Oh, do you think he's embarrassed? Really like that the music is continued over.
Oh!
It's this late already? Sorry, I gotta go back. Oh, but before I go, give me your hand, senpai.
I want...
Oh, whoops. Ta-da! Surprise present! Did I get you? Well, good night, senpai.
Good night, senpai.
Parted with Rise and went home. So, to come off of Persona 4 Golden's ending soundtrack to this, I'm still unnerved and I'm not ready for this vibe of music. After the day off on Monday, we've got a career experience starting on Tuesday. Where they got you working? Tuesday and Wednesday, that's right. That's just as bad as mine. I'm picking up empty cans. Alright, slightly different conversation. I didn't mean to skip forward past the one. So did everyone enjoy the school trip? I didn't. I couldn't care less about shrines and temples. Her week starts Tuesday. Just think of it as another boring field trip for social studies. Going out into the real world is pretty tough. By the end of the week, you'll understand. Myself, I'm glad for the chance to relax. Does anyone have any fond memories from the trip they'd like to share with the class? Come on now, don't hide your faces. I am gonna doze off because dozing off is better in this game. Designing one's career seems to be a fascinating process. However, since I am designed primarily for battle, it is useless for me. I'll come with you. I'm actually going to focus on finishing with her because she'll get upset if I hang out with other women, apparently. So I'm going to do that before I try to hang out with Mitsuru. Great, let's go somewhere. Oh, it wasn't gonna level up? Then I might as well have started with Mitsuru.
Hi, how was your day?
Oh well, such is life. Ryoji-kun was just here. He came to hang out with Junpei. It's not often that we get visitors here. I always forget that it's her. Yeah, do you think it's okay? I'm actually surprised he's not here with the girl. Hey, where's Aigis? I saw her on the second floor. Really? Maybe she's with Koromaru. It's not like them to be gone. But we already know what's going on with that. Oh, Junpei. Your experience, huh? Who thought up this crap? You don't need to experience how boring work is. Man, this school sucks. So he did already leave. That makes more sense. Because in Reload, he's still up there playing and she's like, oh, he just left. Which was really weird. So it's weird that they didn't update that dialogue. I even asked Koromaru for help. Okay, so this was in the original as well. I didn't remember this scene, so I thought this was
What am I drawing? Why am I... What the...
It has been a while.
That voice.
I'm glad to see you once again. Jin, the instruments, if you would.
Here.
Jin tossed the darkly shining gun onto Chidori's bed.
Don't tell me you've forgotten what your evoker looks like.
I trust you do not need to be restrained.
Takaya.
Surely you understand. There is nowhere for you to go. You must come with us. Death is not to be feared. You need only fear.
Yes, I know.
Excellent.
Chidori turned around as she was leaving the room.
It's all his fault. Since the day I met him, I've experienced nothing but pain. And I've become afraid of dying.
Hey, hurry up, Chidori!
Medea, let's go.
I took the day off on Monday. We got career experience. Where are you working? Okay, so that is the same. Okay. I feel less bad about skipping it last time then. I didn't. I can't care less. Career week starts. Does anyone have any fond memories? I feel tired. I'm gonna doze off. Oh, Yukari doesn't want to hang out with me today. Why? I mean, Ryoji didn't either. Fuka's already done. Come on, Junpei, let's hang out. Man, why did we have to come to school today? What day is it? It's the day after the school trip. We need time to unpack our bags and stuff. I'm so tired too. You know, that's kind of a good point, is like the day after a school trip, you still have to, like, having traveled for a couple of days, all of a sudden having to be back, and you're about to have another few days off anyways. Like, I do get his point, actually. Things have finally settled down a bit. Once I'm a senior, I was thinking of assigning more tasks as underclassmen in student council. I deserve some free time after all. I'll still show up to the meetings, of course. A lot of rumors about me, studying really hard, impressive, but try not to stress yourself out. This is unrelated, but I'd like to talk to you about something. Could you spare the time? Great, well, can you come with me? I'd rather not talk about it here. Alright, so this is the same either way then. Void. Mitsuru is trying to avoid getting attention. Please tell me, what are the etiquette here? Are there any customs I need to follow? Drink all the soup. All of it? Well, I will do my best. Bon appetit. Let's eat. Mitsuru is enjoying her ramen. This taste is quite interesting. I thought it might taste strange at first. I thought it tasted strange at first, but as I continued to eat, I realized it had a subtle charm to it. It's quite delicious. Pardon me, chef.
Jeff, you talking to me?
The ramen tastes wonderful. It's been a while since I complimented the chef. What do you use for the bouillon?
Bouillon? What the hell is that? Anyways, if you want to know the recipe, sorry, I can't tell you, lady. Got our secret recipe, we'd be out of business.
Well then, if it's a secret, I completely understand. You don't have to tell me. Now, this would be considered a meal if one were to eat it with rice, yes? That is very interesting.
No, that's not,
okay, like... So that's what the whole bread on the table is supposed to be replacing, but in this one, he didn't say that in the first place. So it just comes out of nowhere. You could probably make more money if you panned the recipe and sold it. Oh, sorry, my imagination got the best of me. I've been wanting to try ramen for a long time. That make me strange? See, I like that translation a lot better. I was talking about this in Reload. She said, is that unusual? Yes, it is unusual. No, it doesn't make you strange. I've never been able to eat this type of food, and I'm not used to this style of restaurant. I felt extremely awkward coming here alone. I'm so glad you're here with me. You taught me so much about ramen etiquette. Let's eat here again sometime. Look at the time. We should go.
Hi, how was your day?
It was just here, came to hang out with Junpei. We don't often get visitors here. Yeah, I thought it'd be a girl. Second floor, Koromaru. Meanwhile, in Chidori's room at Tatsumi Memorial Hospital.
It's all his fault. Since the day I met him, I've experienced nothing but pain. And I've become afraid of dying.
Hey, hurry up, Chidori!
Medea, let's go.